Hello, I'm Nathan Judo. I'm here for the first time this season at Compton with Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, we've been to see Gary O'Neill.
Gary O'Neill. Get it wrong then for a second.
No. Come on, it was all pre-planned. Gary O'Neill's first press conference as Wolverhampton Wanderers manager. Look, 2 days here, so obviously very difficult for him to be thrown into it with a packed press conference. It was. But I thought he spoke pretty well and very measured. And what were your first impressions?
Yeah, measured, seems like a good guy, polite, quite confident in his answers, everything you'd expect of someone who's played the game, now going into managing. Obviously had some experience at Bournemouth already, and now coming to a much bigger club with a big challenge and hoping to step up. So all the signs from him were good. In terms of a press conference vibe and in terms of stories that we're going to have going forward, I don't think he's going to necessarily give you a killer line every single week, but it came across measured, confident, organised, and aside from the fact he was 20 minutes late.
You can't kill him already.
Other than that, yeah, but I don't care. I think it seems to go pretty well.
Look, it's quite an understated press conference. I mean, it was really just like a normal Friday afternoon, and of course we've got to meet him, but at the same time, Matt Howes wasn't there was no Jeff Shee there was no big unveiling, and I think that's almost how he would want that to happen, kind of understated, as is he.
Yeah, I think so, and I think the club have got to try and manage how this week has gone as well. And of course, it's been a very difficult week for the club in a lot of different aspects. It's been difficult summer, hasn't it? So it's no surprise to see it being a little bit low key. And it probably suits him, as you say, to be a little bit like, it wasn't really an unveiling. It was just, as you say, a standard press conference.
With some extra questions in there.
With some extra questions that we're going to see every week now going forward. I can understand it from the club's point of view. From our point of view, would it have been great to sit down and speak to Matt Howes or speak to any of the hierarchy about the situation? Of course, it would have been, and we'll keep asking those questions and keep trying to get those answers. But yeah, it was very low key with some decent news sprinkled in there.
But look, he spoke about the squad and the players. I know he's only had a couple of sessions with them, but in glowing terms, it's obviously from a quality point of view better than the squad he had at Bournemouth. I think that's fair to say. And he's really excited about the challenge ahead, and he thinks that they could do something this season.
Yeah, he spoke glowingly about the squad, to be honest. And I think
that was as strong as he was, really.
Yeah, 100%.
In the whole 40 minutes or 35 minutes.
And I think he is right in the sense that there's a very good squad there. Very talented players, and
as we've said
from the beginning. However, there is depth problems. There is maybe one or two starting 11 problems. I think you could definitely add to this squad and make it much better. But there is something to work with. I think that was what the point he was trying to get across. He's got something to work with. He wouldn't have come to the club if he wasn't happy enough with the situation they're in. It's a massive opportunity for him, and it's a massive decision for Wolves going forward. So you've got to hope it works now. But he's saying all the right things to make it work. You've now got to do it on the pitch on Monday.
Of course you do. We'll take it to Manchester United, I guess. Look, massive task. Whether it was Julian or it was Gary O'Neill, whether they signed 10 or signed no one, it's a massive task going to Old Trafford and trying to get a result. What do you think he can do to change what the dynamic was previous? And do you think we might see one or two changes? Is there any injury news or team news going into that game?
So the only team news from it really was that Kunis had a bit of a problem, missed a couple of the sessions this week. He said that he should be fine for Monday, which is obviously a great sign. And other than that, he said no fresh injuries. We'll obviously find out on Monday whether that is the case, because obviously some managers like to be a little bit low key with. And I think
he's one of them in the past.
In the past, yeah. So
expect 11 changes from.
We'll hedge our bets and wait for Monday. But with those kind of with Cunha potentially hit or miss, depends on how the next few days go. It'd be very interesting to see the way he sets the team up. We've spoken about it, written about it last couple of days. He's tended to match an opposition quite a lot at Bournemouth. Similarly, he's also gone with a sort of 4-4-2, a 4-4-1-1, with a false 9, which would suit Cunha, I think. But with that, if he does go for that, it means either Sasha or Fabio is starting. There'll be some more news on Fabio coming in the next few days from this press conference as well, and I would like to think that he would play. And it's going to be really intriguing how he will set that team up, because I think, personally, what I think he'll do, you've got to try and set Wolves up to be hard to beat. It is a bit negative, but he's had 2-3 days to work with the team. He's going away to Man United. I think that's a sensible approach. And then after you get over this game and hopefully get a result and a good performance, you then work to stamp your authority on the team.
In terms of Fabio Silva, let's say Cunha's not available or not fit enough to start. Could you see Fabio Silva leading that line?
I mean, he has to. I mean, to be honest, for me, if Cunha is available, he still starts. But that's just my personal opinion. But he has to, because Sasha's still coming back with an injury. I think Sasha will be involved in some capacity. But starting I'd be very surprised. So, with the options that are there, Fabio Silva has to play. Simple as that.
Look, September the 1st, deadline day. He, of course, was asked the question about signings, about the financial restrictions that we've all talked about till we're blue in the face. But he did say that, you know, there may be outgoings, there may be incomings, but obviously it's going to be dictated to him what those are.
Yeah, I think so. Look, it was very much that he's not come here with any demands, which we expected, because he's taken the job for a reason. And he reiterated that, look, I'm happy with the squad as it is. He thinks he can do something special with the squad this season, hence, again, why he's taken the job. So in terms of what he's saying, there's no real push and demand for signings. He's made it clear that anything can happen, but he was very vague in that because he's aware of the situation Wolves are in, and he knows there's not going to be, you know, an incredible wealth of signings coming in over the next few weeks. So it's a case of sit back, keep your eyes peeled, but don't expect the world. I think it's probably the best way to put it. And in terms of outgoings as well, look, there's a lot of question marks over a few players. He said very similar things. Never say never. I've got the players I've got now. I'm looking towards Monday against Man United. And again, vague. So you would expect in the next few weeks we might open up a little bit on that and see what else we can get.
New dugout, new couple of staff with him as well, alongside him at Old Trafford.
Yes, Tim Jenkins, I believe, is going to be the assistant, but coming from Bournemouth. Mark Robson coming over from West Ham. He's the 23 manager there, and coming over to be a first-team coach. And then Sean Derry coming over from Palace has left. He'd just gone back there as a first-team coach, and is now leaving to come over here. So two of them are already in. I think Jenkins and Derry are already here. Mark Robson will be here, you know, fairly shortly, and all working towards what's going to be hopefully a good performance and good result on Monday.
God, I hope so. Look, we've done predictions on the podcast, but I'm going to see whether maybe Gary O'Neill's chat and demeanour and answers to your questions might have changed that. So,
3-0 Wolves.
Mr. Liam Keane, it's Manchester United, it's Wolverhampton Wanderers, it's at Old Trafford. Can you give me a score prediction, Palage?
I'm going to stick with the poddy.
Go on.
I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1.
It's going to be it wouldn't be a famous point. Wolves have won there fairly recently, but it'd be a very, very good point if he can do it. And I'm going to go 1-1. Wolves with a real battling, hard-working performance.
Yeah, what he said is what I said as well.
I really hope as well.
Let's hope so. Myself and Liam will be at Old Trafford on Monday night for all the build-up on this one. Make sure you log on to expressandstar.com.